surprise. Like, you haven't had enough of us this week. We're like, hello, it's Saturday. We're riding and vibing with Rob and Danny today, folks.
There she is. She's over there being a co-pilot. I have to have all the screen time, people.
Oh, jeez.
It's about me.
Yes, this is riding with Rob today, but we've got all safety nets in place here. We have Danny off to the side as the co-pilot, and I am off site here to take comments and put comments up. That's what we're here to do for you, Rob.
Yeah.
How the hell are you guys today? How are you doing, Rob?
Well, I'm in Connecticut, so I'll give you one guess. One guess.
Okay.
About what we're dealing with right now.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You're dealing with horrible traffic. You didn't give me a chance to say it. You took
way too long. See, let me teach you a little something about broadcasting, Sarah. This is a live show, okay?
This is a live show.
And we only have people's attention captured for a limited amount of time. So we have to be incredibly compelling as quickly as we can.
Okay. You know, I'm so grateful to you and for your help on broadcasting. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah.
This is how I'm going to, break you into the scene.
Yeah. Oh, you've broken me into the scene.
Steve from P3S.
I did.
Hi, Steve.
Put you on the map.
I have been broken in.
Steve from P3S.
There's P3S. Right. Awesome team.
There they are.
So, yes, you are in Connect. There's Marianne. Hey, Marianne. There's one of our fabulous crew right here helping us. Yeah, you're in Connecticut, and that can only mean one thing.
Traffic.
No, there's another thing it can mean.
Oh, what can it mean?
Epic investigations.
Yeah, we're talking. There's Chris. We are talking about if you are in Connecticut, that means you are headed to Rhode Island, and that means you are on your way to the infamous Conjuring House. There's Stephen. Hey, Steve. There he is.
That's right.
Yeah.
Or it could have meant I was headed to Enfield House, which I'm not. I am headed past it. We're going to drive right past it. But we are headed to Rhode Island.
That is true, Rob. That probably wasn't very fair of me to say. If you're in Connecticut, it could only mean one thing, because now it can mean two things. Now it can mean two things.
Or it could mean I was going to drive by the World Wrestling. What is the
World Wrestling Federation?
Yeah, but no, they don't call it that anymore. WWF, WWE. World Wrestling.
Oh my God! How long ago did that change?
We just years. We just drove past it, looking for a restroom that didn't work out. So we had to go to another exit, and we just busted ass to get all peed out and back in the car and back into traffic. Which I'm gonna jump lanes now.
Oy.
All right. So yes, we're in that area, Stamford area of Connecticut.
Yeah.
Hey, Brittany.
Yeah. Well, let's just mention tonight is a big night for Get Haunted and the Get Haunted crew. We have 3 amazing events tonight. We do have the Conjuring House, which Rob and Danny will be at. We also have the Enfield House, the 1771 Enfield House. And we also have the awesome Old Franklin County Jail, and that is being run by Terry, Scary Terry. He is out there doing his thing in Chambersburg, Pennsylvania. So we love that. Hey, Pat, how are you doing today? I hope you're doing wonderfully.
Yeah, and Lori is running Enfield tonight, so I do have to link up. I do need to link up with her at some point. I don't know if Lori, if you're watching or still sleeping, which you hopefully are, 'cause it's going to be a long night.
Yeah.
She's there with Two Brothers Extreme and a couple other guests, so it's going to be. We'll see what happens tonight.
Yeah, that's how exciting for Lori. She is heading up the Enfield House. This is Get Haunted's first official event there. That is their first official event there. And this is awesome. We do with Two Brothers Extreme. This was such a great, I think, kickoff for events there, because this gives people a real opportunity to get in there and discover if doing that 1771 Enfield project, if that's really like something they want to dig into, because this is not just a one-nighter. You can't just spend one night in that location. You need to actually immerse yourself into the history, into the stories, into the town, into all of the paranormal activity that happens all around in Enfield, Connecticut. So yeah, we're pretty excited about that. And we're excited because it is July 22nd and Rob Stackowitz is on his way back to the Conjuring House to battle his demons.
Stop. So yeah, you know, the twos are already showing themselves today. Kevin messaged me just a little while ago. He's like, "Oh, guess what? I met you 2 years ago to yesterday. We met on 7/21/2021. So it's 2 years ago. You know, so we can loosely affiliate a two there. Yeah. It is the 22nd of July, which is why I decided to go, because if you know the story, you know the twos are a big part of it.
Yeah.
Some other folks have thrown some twos my way the last couple of days, and
Stacy,
Stacy threw some twos out yesterday.
He did.
Kara has had some twos pop up. Some of it related to our socials, all kinds of cool twos coming up. So we'll see if it means anything tonight.
Yeah. Hey, Rob, are you going to be playing the clapping game? That's what Jackie Kurt wants to know.
So, yeah, listen, I personally will not. So when I left the house, what I thought was for good forever. I did record the clap game that night. Like, that was it for me. That was kind of the pinnacle. That night I was there with Scary Terry, actually, and we recorded it, and you hear it clear as day. It says, "Hear me clapping," and then you hear the clap. That next morning, things got really weird for me, and I left the house for what I thought was for good. It did. It took like 8 months for me to get through some therapy with Sarah, but when I did go back, I really have no desire to do it.
Yeah.
I'm sure some of the guests may want to. I don't know.
Oh God.
The news is we have enough people there. What?
You have like the funky
what'd you say, Sarah?
Weird you have like your service was spotty there for a second. That's all. You kind of stopped. What is that? You're lifting your hand up to me.
Yeah. I know. Because I could understand what you were saying. Finally, you became robotic. So I don't know. My service has been weird lately. I don't know if there's solar flares or whatever happening, but yeah. So I don't really have a desire to play the game. There may be some guests that want to. They're more than welcome to.
Yeah.
There's enough people working there. If it gets weird, I'm out. I'll leave.
Yeah, you got to protect your boundaries here. Dee Dee wants to know, and hello, Dee Dee. There is the host from Paranormally Blonde, Miss Dee Dee, and also Haunted Hour podcast Dream Analysis. She wants to know, are there any plans to go live from the Conjuring House or any other locations tonight?
Probably. Let's just say that's a definite maybe. I hope Enfield does, even for a little while. Here's what happens, especially when I get back here, right? It's part of my routine there, if you want to call it a routine. But I like to bring the people that I paid to come on my session. I kind of retell the story in a couple of big spots, a couple of the big story spots, and I retell the story, and sometimes that stirs things up. Last time I was there, it seemed to stir things up down in the basement. So, and I did leave right after because it got a little.
Oh my God!
But maybe we'll have to see, right? We don't know. I just play it by ear. Fuck. Our service is shit.
It's a little creepy. I want to say hello to Kaylee. She is prepping for the old Franklin County Jail. That's pretty exciting. We hope you have an amazing Get Haunted event right out there with, I know that Terry, I don't know if Julie's going to be there. We got Kyle there and Bree of Our World Paranormal, part of our Get Haunted family and paranormal road trip. Bree will be there as well. So we're super excited to see you guys there. Yes, and Dehoot, let's mention as well for Dee Dee, thedreamsinterpreter.com. That's her website. Don't forget that. Did you do any prep work for yourself? Do I still have you here? Shitty service, folks. That's what you get when you're driving through Connecticut.
I don't know if you
Yeeks. Yeah. Kind of spotty. We're going to let him clear himself up. There he goes. Do you guys have any good questions that you would like for him to take with him to the Conjuring House? Is there something you would like to see maybe that he will do while he's there? There's always, he's going to come back. He did. He totally sounded like Max Headroom. Wasn't that Cinemax? I remember when that show would come on when I was a kid, and it always kind of freaked me out. All right, so they're coming. They're gonna jump out and they're gonna jump back in. And as soon as I see them, we're gonna throw them back in here. There he is. There you are.
Don't understand.
There you are.
We're in a pretty civilized area, I think.
Is it though? Civilized?
I think it is. Okay. I see street lights and things.
Oh, good. So tell me, I'm curious to know, as somebody that sat and we did a lot of talking and we did a lot of work when you came out of your experience of the Conjuring House, have you done anything to prepare yourself or to protect those boundaries that you have going in?
Yeah, a little bit yesterday during the day and a little bit last night. But also, there's a point I reach when I enter Rhode Island where things get serious for me, more serious, and I feel like I'm a little better equipped now, thanks to you, at setting those boundaries. So there was a little bit yesterday. I had one little weird moment yesterday, and I think there was a point last week where while you and I were working remotely, we both had some similar things. So I don't know. But yeah, it's usually once I get to where I need to be, I pull over. There's a spot I pull over, and I just kind of go through what I need to go through to prep myself mentally. I'm not scared. It's not that, but yeah, there are boundaries that need to be set. I don't worry about the house. I was thinking about this while I was doing this. It's not that I worry about the house or
no, because let's see what he's going to have. Let's see, because this is such a great question, Dee Dee. I'm curious too, since we had that amazing EVP that he shared from the Conjuring House. I know, right, Jackie? Like, great timing. Like, come on. See if he pops out and pops back in. We'll see if he can reconnect here. But if you guys have watched, I think we've shared this EVP a couple times, Dee Dee, on Paranormally Blonde that Rob shared. And if I'm not mistaken, the EVP says, like, am I dreaming or something close to that, right? Because it was such an amazing, it was such an amazing tie-in to some things that Dee Dee has brought sort of to the forefront for me to think about. And, you know, are we always dealing with something from the past, or are we dealing with people who are astral projecting or possibly dreaming in that moment? I think those are all great theories to always think about, right? I think we have to keep that in mind, that, you know, we get stuck on a story, we get stuck on what's been passed down, that we don't really live in that moment of being at a location that has activity or has these great openings to activity, right? So here we are, we kind of get stuck on what people have told us that we're not having our very own experience. So I do love that. We're talking, Dee Dee and I are just having a little conversation here about, she wants you to ask if you're gonna, like when you're doing the EVPs, again, ask about if you're talking to someone who is possibly dreaming.
Oh.
Yeah, I do want to dive into, if you can hear me, I can't even tell.
Yep. Yeah, I can. Yes.
I do want to dive into that because for me, that EVP from years ago is actually one of my favorite EVPs because, and it wasn't until I started, if I never met you and never went on your show and never started talking to Dee Dee, that concept was completely foreign to me. I never would have put those things together. But now, I don't know. But yeah, we can make that a very specific task for tonight.
Yeah. And here's the thing, Rob, when you guys kind of had to boot yourselves out to get back in, that's what I was kind of going over here talking to myself with Dee Dee is, we get so stuck on somebody else's experience and story of these locations that we don't really get into our own. And so because you did get, and I don't know if anybody has ever shared that from the Conjuring House before. I'll keep it real for as long as I've been doing this, talking to Dee Dee about the whole dream thing. This was the first time that theory has really ever sort of been brought to the forefront, right? So, because you had that EVP that seems so like that was a very clear-cut EVP, and we already know people have weird waking moments of being in this location.
Yeah, and that EVP, right? That one I missed probably the first 10 times I listened to it. And then once I've got it onto the computer and I saw there's a little tiny waveform and I'm like, what is that? Like, what is, because it looked like human speech pattern. And when I boosted it, I was like, holy shit, because it's super clear and it's a guy's voice for sure. And the words are there. It's a class A that was buried under everything. And it's cool. But to finish my thought, like
Are you freaking kidding me right now?
You still hear me?
You. I can hear you now.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay. All right. It's the 800 number. I'm going to have to call back. I'm not worried about what that, if there's another break or this next, whatever the next thing is, if you know the story, guys, and the house kind of like brought me to new levels. And that's the scary part. It's like, am I ready for whatever's next? I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah.
If there's anything next. I don't know if you can still hear.
I can. D Hoot's asking, and you're a little bit choppy, but D Hoot's asking, do you bring up Andrea Perrin and or her family when you investigate? Did I lose you? You might be gone. What's interesting, D Hoot, about Andrea Perrin is that, their family lived there, I believe it was a total of 10 years. And I'm sure because they did share their experience and their, at least Rob got stuck on a decent pose. I always get stuck on some stupid pose, right? But, they were there for 10 years and they did share their story. And that is what the movies are very loosely based on. And I say that because Andrea herself said they use about, I don't even remember, Dee Dee, was it like 5 or 10% of actual experiences did they actually use for the movies? Oh wait, there you are, dude. Like, something doesn't want you to talk.
I know. Send Danny the link, and we'll see what happens.
I'm gonna send it to her now.
And if this happens again, we'll just go on with Danny's phone.
Okay, doing it now, sir. So D Hoot was just asking, like, when you're there, and I feel like this is something I've never really heard you say before. Danny sent, it is, the link is sent to you. Do you really bring up Andrea and her family much when you're there, when you're asking questions? I feel like that's not why you went there in the first place. So I'm not sure if you've really ever used that as your motivation when you're there.
It's not. I have on a couple of occasions, just because I'm looking for the story, right? And I have on a couple of occasions, and I have received some responses on the recorder, at least. Not so much to Andrea, but to her mom. And those are just things that I left alone, right? Because, just because.
Yeah.
Basically. Oh, God.
What is going on
Hold
here?
on. Breaks. So, yeah, it's not my motivation, right? It was...
Yeah.
Look, I'll be the first to admit, and we've talked about this publicly too, is you go in with a story that's been created for a movie. I'm not saying Andrea's story's not correct, but we know the movie is parts of it are
many parts
different.
Of it are that's exactly
and
right.
Andrea will say it too. So you go in with that story, and in the beginning, maybe a couple of my questions were around that. But it was later, once I started figuring out that there's so much not that, right? Once we started learning characters and you hear some of the characters that I've recorded, the names I've recorded, and then some names you've pulled out through Reiki, all these weird things, it became a much bigger story for me.
Yeah.
Than what the movie portrays, which we know is mostly bullshit.
Brittany is asking, she would be interested to see if the house would answer either why Rob or why it picks certain people to go after. And I feel like I could sort of answer that question. It's not for me to answer, but I feel like I've never been to the location. I've never had a desire to go to the location. It's not on my bucket list. It's not something that I was like, oh, I got to get to the Conjuring House. However, meeting you, Rob, and learning the things that I learned about the Conjuring House, I'm kind of grateful. And he's gone. I'm grateful that I got to do it with him, because I think had I gone with the movie, I didn't watch the movies. It's just not something that I was interested in. But to be able to hear his story and why and what was happening, it changes the whole perspective of the house. That's what's kind of, to me, that's what's super interesting. He's coming in from another side. Look at that. Now we get the other side. Is this your good side? You're like, get my good side, please.
My whole phone down, just so you know. GPS stopped. Everything closed. I don't understand what's happening, but... Oh, my
gosh.
Try Danny's phone right now.
We're going to try. So Who brings up a very interesting thing too. She said the suicide rate for that area is said to be substantially high. Have you ever heard that before?
No, that's new to me. And it's kind of surprising. Look, I've said for a long time now that it's not just 16. It's just not that house, that road. That whole area is very strange. It's a strange place. What am I looking at? Is somebody backstage?
Oh, I don't know. Are you backstage?
I don't know. The whole area is strange. Kind of vibe to it.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that, and it's a very interesting fact. Thank you.
D-Hoot's going to bring you some good facts. Now, Stacey's saying that I hurt his feelings because he's going there in September. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. I was saying that I feel like for me to learn about the Conjuring House through your story, Rob, gave me a very, I think, a unique perspective to something that I had zero interest in, and I did not watch the movies. It wasn't something that I followed. It just wasn't a house. Same thing with the Amityville. They just didn't capture my attention that way. So I kind of, to hear it from your perspective, to go back to Brittany's thing, right? I think that if you go to the Conjuring House, you sort of learn why it picks. You have to be very honest, though. You have to be, not publicly, but you have to be very honest with yourself, I think, to understand why the house chose you.
Well, look at that. Rob, 240 pounds ago. Yeah, it's a weird thing. And it was why, how much I struggled with even going public and going on Andrea's show. I kind of didn't want to do it because I know what I sound like. I just do. And at the time, I didn't know that other people were having similar issues, side effects, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what the right word is, right?
Yeah.
But through some encouragement and through saying, I went on Andrea's show. We talked for 2 hours. I talked for 2 hours. She listened and she certainly chimed in. It was afterwards, right, that when the phone call started, that night and but especially the very next day, from other people who were like, holy shit, that's what I'm going through. That happened to me. It's still happening to me. People that I had actually crossed paths with,
right,
and had no idea, and we became kind of good friends. But now I kind of know why. Like when all of the facts come out, right, and you start connecting dots and people and places and things, the story is truly unbelievable. It's hard to believe, even for me. I think even for you sometimes. Today, Sarah can admit that I still go, hey, do you really believe me when I tell you some of these things? And she constantly has to reassure me because it's nuts.
Well, I want to get back to this, and I'm sorry, Facebook user, I can't see who this is, but before we get to that question, I want to pop Adams up here, because Adam says people need to understand the paranormal is not like Hollywood. Set expectations low. But what I want to add to Adam's comment here is this: people are looking, and part of it is, you're right, Adam, part of it is that Hollywood experience. It's what you want to see from the TV shows. Can you not hear?
No, we can. Okay? It's just some weird sounds.
Okay. Yeah, I hear. What is that noise? I hear it.
Oh, you hear it too? It sounds like a deck of cards.
Yeah, like somebody shuffling cards.
That's very weird. Okay, so what I want to say to this is this: paranormal is not just a paranormal experience. It is the sociology and the psychology of everything surrounding your experience. That means you have a lot to do with it. And I think, Rob, you are the first person, after all this time, I can actually say this, because I don't know that I've ever stopped and thought about this. The very thing that I've always felt about how we experience these things in paranormal, they're so personal, and I got to go so personal with you. You shared very personal experiences, and then I guess, fortunately or unfortunately for you, there were things that I was coming up with from your past that I can't really remember a lot of what I gave to you. I could not repeat those. That is an honest to God thing. I could not give you ages and or experiences that I had given Rob. But those are the things that really you start to go, that's the paranormal experience. But it kind of ties into this Facebook user's question, which is, are there any confirmed positive events or happenings from that
house? I've said this publicly, and I say it almost every day of my life, is, that house, it was a matter of perspective and understanding where some of it came from, why some of these things were so monumental, and what the net outcome. And although it was months and months later, the truth is, what happened to me there made my life better than it ever has been, ever, in 50 years. It's 52. So what felt like hell, honestly, what literally brought me maybe to the brink of maybe not even wanting to wake up that next morning, was so incredibly necessary to get myself to a place where I could appreciate all of the good things, because I didn't, right? And it was, so it's spiritual boot camp. It was, as we've said, walking through the fire, right? You have to, for me, and for some others that I have spoken to, it was, oh my God, I had to walk through this fire to get there. Now, the big question becomes, that fire, when you're in the middle of it, feels like you're your biggest enemy, and it's the worst thing in the world for you, and it's the world's coming down on you. But it was the most necessary step to being healed, or as much, or towards healing, because you're probably never fully healed. So do I think there are positive effects? Absolutely. When you ask if I get nervous, it's not because I think the house is going to hurt me or ruin my life. It's because
that's so weird. Every time he tries to say something about the house, yeah, weird. You're cutting out. You're cutting out.
Are you there?
Yeah, you were cut. I'm here. You're just cutting out. I know. What is happening? That is very weird. I want to let you know
that long answer is yes.
All right. Well, that was Joe from P3S, and I think, Joe, to answer your question, like, you know, when you're in the journey of gratitude and manifestation, the fire he's speaking of is more of a cleansing, right? But do people go to the Conjuring House and walk out winning the lottery? If that's what you're asking, you know, I'm not. For some, what Rob went through could feel like winning the lottery. For others, the literalness of winning the lottery might not happen coming from that house. But that's not what people probably don't talk about, the positive aspects, right? Because that's, people go in for the scare.
Absolutely. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So yes, and you're right. For me, it was winning the lottery. And here's something I want to clarify that a lot of people miss this point, is that this started before the house, right? A lot of things had to happen before I ever set foot in that place. It's just that being there for whatever reason just busted everything wide open. Does that mean that the place does not have some weird shit lurking around in there? Is a piece of property that powerful? Yeah, it can be. I don't know. Is it a portal? Is it a beacon for things? Yeah. So it's haunted. Don't get me wrong, but and if you look at Andrea's title of the book, House of Darkness, House of Light, it makes a lot of sense, right? Because what can feel really dark is truly bringing you to a place. So yeah, for me, I won the lottery, just without the money.
So here's the crazy thing though, Rob, like this is almost a deep end conversation for when we do the show. You know, this is where, you know, the house sort of was your smack in the face. The house, it's like all paths led you to this location so all the demons could show themselves, so to speak. I'm using that term as a very loose and personal demon sort of situation. So if you have to look inside your own dark corners, and I sort of feel like everything you and I have talked about, every other experience that people have shared with us, that you've shared with me, you know, comes back to these dark corners that we harbor. And when you are in the paranormal, if you're, well, whether you're ready or not, because Rob, you might not have been ready to do that. You might not have been ready to look in your dark corners, but universe said, hey, asshole, it's time.
I remember that moment. And yeah, that's exactly it, right? And I wasn't ready. And here the more holy shit. The most amazing part of that is that there were things that came to the surface that I didn't even realize were still a problem for me, right? And people that know me know I kept a journal, and there were things that I was reminded of God, 40 years ago that I thought were no longer this issue, right? I hadn't even thought about them, but it doesn't mean my subconscious wasn't hanging on to those things. And when it was brought back to my attention, and after talking to you the very first night, and when you kind of brought this all to the surface, and I know you don't remember a lot of it, I was like, oh my God, it shifted every belief I have about the paranormal, every belief I have about the universe, about just existing. So yeah, there's something where that place can be a catalyst. And then understanding that other people had gone through this now after doing Andrea's show. Because I was like, that was a corporate suicide, because if I watched that, I wouldn't hire me. I just wouldn't.
Right.
And potentially paranormal suicide. Right? I know I sound like a fucking crazy person. And I got to the point where, like, I don't care. I know this is good. Now, some people could leave there and continue to focus on this being, like I did for about 8 months, being the end of the world for you. And that is not healthy. It's not. So, it's part of the reason I go when I go. Some people are going there exactly for what you said, for the scares and whatnot. Yeah. People walk in and out of there and are like, is this place even fucking haunted?
And there he goes. And he's gone. Look at that. Dihu, yes, I think the wall has been spoken about many times, and that is definitely a part of the location that people do like to check out. Kevin, he is saying the camera work was great in that movie. I know. I think I might know somebody that had something to do with that. Maybe do we know somebody that did the work? Let's see. Sam saying, I want to visit the Conjuring House for sure. I do. I think it is a great location for many. Jackie Kirk, great job, Kevin. I know you're like, yeah, there you go, off on.
This is the most jackassery I've ever experienced. Is it the twos? Are the twos coming to be like, hey guys, you're talking too much? I don't know.
I know. I'm excited though, because Rob, we're, and again, this would be such a great jumping off point for Deep End. And I just want to put out there, Kevin was throwing out what amazing camera work that movie had done. Kevin Martin.
Yeah. Yeah, most of the camera work. I think there was this Polish guy that really kind of screwed the whole movie up.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. No, but what I really love about what you're sharing here, and look, not everybody goes into this for the same reason. This is the one thing I do remember, and you would never answer, and I'm curious now after months, because we don't really stop and talk about this stuff anymore, Rob. We really don't discuss Conjuring House and sort of where it all, we've been very focused and busy on new creations. But I'm very curious. I remember I would throw out there, Rob, you asked Universe, you asked her something, and you would say, and I would say, what is it? Not for you to answer me, but I would say, what is it? And you'd be like, I don't know. Do you think you know now? That's a yes. Yeah, the house, I think, is such an amazing, truly, if you want to get in touch with what this means. Paranormal is so much more than running around screaming it's a demon. Paranormal is truly these amazing personal experiences that they want to talk to us as much as we want to talk to them. And it's not always about their demise, right? It's not always about their demise. It could be our own demise that they are trying to warn us of or give us some pieces of wisdom about. So I think it's kind of an exciting thing. And sometimes, guess what? It can be scary, because it's funny how we make those things scary and paranormal, but we don't look at them scary as we're living. And I think they're trying to show you this shit can be scary, people, but it doesn't have to be the ending. It can be very much a beautiful beginning. But that's just my opinion. Now we're just getting deep, and we don't need to. Sorry, I didn't mean to go deep.
No, it's okay. And I just wish we could pull over and talk about this, but let's save that piece for the Deep End. but yeah, and it was a question you asked me a lot in the beginning, and it did. It took a while. It took a long time, really, for me to really just kind of dig back through, understand what happened. Some of the things that the house showed to me were part of that, and some of the things weren't, right? Because there are people there, right? And the last time I was there, I got to witness some of the craziness. So there are people there, but there are also much bigger things happening there that I think, yeah, I don't know. It's a great question. Why some people and not the others? And I don't know. Is it those people that just simply haven't asked, aren't receptive, or it's just not their time?
Might not be their time.
It just might not be. And so it's when people ask now, oh, am I going to be okay? Yeah,
It really doesn't want to talk about the house.
That's true. Out again?
You're off and on. Every time you try to start that. Jackie Kurt saying the hidden graveyard. There's some strange activity there. Do you know of this? You know the hidden graveyard?
I do.
Okay. We don't have to give it away. I want to make knowledge of that. Dee Dee's bringing up, I heard someone say people pulled books from the bookshelves at Conjuring, and it actually applies to something in their life. And Danny just posted something about that. And so Dee Dee's saying pull a book. Let me tell you something. We were just talking about that before we went live. That is, Rob has had that experience. I won't share details. That's for him to share. But Danny was like, oh my God, like this just pulled up on my, was it on your Facebook, Danny? You were like, all of a sudden it talked about yeah, so crazy. Like this is
on my search engine. It wasn't even Facebook.
Okay, on her Googling it. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
She's going to the Conjuring House, that this is something that is a big revelation for many people in the library. And Danny's like, this pulls up on my search engine about divination through books. That to me, these are things where you say, this is not coincidental. Things that happen before the Conjuring House, that's universe speaking, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, I mean, and I don't think you even remember this one, but before I went back in September of 22, I want to say, yeah, it had to be 22. You gave me that message. You were like, think about the library and what it means, and you basically hung up on me. I'm like, fuck is that? And then it hit me, and I was like, oh shit! Like I had to pull over because what it truly meant, and the chronological order of these book pulls really told a really big story.
Yeah, that's to me, and again, it could be, if it's not, so here's where I think we all need to take a minute as investigators, as people who love the paranormal. I think we kind of need to take a moment. So where you had a big experience being the Conjuring House, and many people have as well, but not all people, that doesn't mean your experience or those that have experience there, that it's not real, true, or very big. Somebody else can have those big experiences, say at the Hinsdale House, or at Ohio State Reformatory. Like, we have to remember that they're personal experiences, and that doesn't make you less of an investigator, and it doesn't make a place less haunted. If you can't recreate something somebody had, it's not for you to recreate. You are there to experience your own thing. So I think this is where sometimes we get a little too tunnel visioned. So, when people ask, like, what I have been asked, like, if you went to Conjuring House, right? And I think you and I have talked about this, like, do you worry if I don't have your experience? Would I be disappointed or question what you have shared with me? And the answer is absolutely not. I would not question what you have shared with me if I walked in there and got zero, because the reality is I would be, what is meant for me will show itself.
Agreed, and I struggle with that. Even talking about this stuff with guests, right? or potential guess is, I know I tell a pretty sensational story here, and it's not a guarantee. It just isn't. However, sometimes it's those little things that will, a month or weeks or a month or later, you're going to be like, oh my God, now it makes sense. So when people walk out of there and they're like, it happens. They're not circus animals, or it just isn't your time. But there have been nights there where people have been like, oh my God. So it's an interesting place. It's not what the movies make it out to be. Can it be scary? Yeah, I've watched grown adults just kind of crumble there, including myself. It's just different. It's different.
Right. And I love this, Brittany saying this. That's a good point. I wonder if the intent can be felt by spirits, and that's why they don't show themselves for some. And here's the thing, I think we also, just because we might say like, I want to go in there and have this, I'm open, again, I promise you, what you consciously think and what you subconsciously think don't always match up. It's a lot of self-work to get those two things to jive. So we need to remember that whether or not you think or say like, oh, I'm totally open going up in this space, you might not be subconsciously. And I also do believe that there are times that, and there are people, and if you knew Rob's story, if you knew Rob personally, there are some people that absolutely have to have their feet placed right in the fire in order to make serious changes. And, and again, see, I'm going into deep dive, and we can't do that right now, but I think that that's, again, and everybody is at a different point in their journey of going into paranormal. So we all go for different things. Some of us go for the scientific aspect. Some of us go in there to try to recreate what's on the TV shows or the movies. Some of us go in there because we're just skeptical. And some of us are in there because there's something more we want to learn about ourselves. There's no right answer. There is no right way to do it. So I say just go. Adam's asking a question. Do you believe there are paranormal experts? I ask that because how can you be an expert of the unknown? Oh, Adam, that is such a dangerous question you're asking. Experts, paranormal experts. Rob, what do you say?
Yeah, I do. And that's who we're trying to get in touch with every time we go on an investigation. I don't think they're on this side. I think they're on the other side. I mean, if we're going to call anybody an expert, it's those people that leave the messages on our recorders. That's how I see it.
And who's to say? You're an expert with your experience, and I'm an expert with my experience, and that does not make me an expert over the entire field of paranormal. And this is one thing that I do love about Get Haunted, and it is one thing that I do love about, and I'm using Get Haunted for the entirety of the family and the crew, is that you have to allow everybody to be who they are in the paranormal. You have to allow them to take it in, to experience it, to share it, because there's something that you will find that resonates with someone. And all of that gives us more and more to dig into. And again, we're all going to die, folks, and we will all know that final answer. And all I hope is that I will be an energy that lasts and that will provide that guidance, such as the spirits at the Conjuring House. That's kind of how I feel about it. D Hoot, there are still people living. I believe Jackie does live in the house. It is a home. It's somebody's home, correct? Nobody lives in it. Okay, nobody lives there. I lied. I just lied.
No, people stay for about a week at a time, maybe two, I think.
Okay.
I don't know. Kevin's on. Kevin can confirm
that. Sorry, I was just getting a text here. This Facebook user, I apologize. This says, I sincerely believe that the house gave me what it knew I would accomplish for change, and gave me a bit of a challenge for myself. And they cried. And you know what? Why are you in a tunnel? Tell me you're in a tunnel. I'm going to assume he's in a tunnel because it's like midnight there now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the house gives you what you need. If you know what, and there are times in our life when, again, subconsciously, you might be yelling for help. You might be asking for a hand. And if you ask for that hand in the exact right spot, sometimes that spot's the Conjuring House, it will answer. Yeah. Let's see what we got here. Chris Mack is saying, get haunted too. I always wanted to do investigation at the Conjuring House, but the question is there negative energy in that house? How do we know? We don't know if it's negative, positive. It's energy. It's energy, right?
I believe that house is a great amplifier. So if you go in there with negative energy, you're probably going to get it back.
Yeah.
So
that was Stephanie. That was Stephanie. That was Stephanie, by the way. That's yeah. She's the one that had
Stephanie.
the change.
Stephanie gets it. Yeah.
Stephanie gets it.
I believe her story also.
Sorry. She also says staff takes turns rotating out every 2 weeks. So there's kind of an answer of who's in the house. So there's somebody always there. It's just not the same person.
Right.
Jackie Kurt, it's different for each person. And Adam says, if you want it to be negative, you'll get negative. I always say that too. I always feel like what you seek is seeking you. And, I love Rumi. I love the quotes. They're very simple most of the time. And that one to me is a big one. What you seek is seeking you. And Rob, that fits your experience. You might not have known what you were seeking, but you sure as shit were seeking it. Are you not happy with me? He's giving me the look.
Yeah, I don't know. I have bars. I don't even understand why this.
He doesn't hear us.
Shitty.
He doesn't hear.
Go back in.
Yeah, he doesn't hear us. So
I kind of hear you. It's breaking.
Uh-oh.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yep. Can you hear
ridiculous.
me?
Oops. I guess I shouldn't. All right, let's see where we're at right now. We're going to give this one the last go.
All right.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Jackie. You go have a great night.
Hey, I can hear you now.
You can hear me now. Yeah, I just, I think this will be interesting.
Jackie's going to Chambersburg.
She's going to Chambersburg. And here's the thing. I think there are some interesting connections to all three locations tonight. That was not planned. That was not something that we set up strategically or methodically. Most things that happen for Get Haunted, or the way Rob and I tend to do things, is they land perfectly the way they are meant to land. There is going to be some interesting connected experiments tonight at these locations, right? Yeah, right. Dehoot saying you'll probably break up 22 times. We'll be this probably has about 22 different breaks here during the show. Yeah, so they're going to do some really cool, trying to make a little bit of connection. There could possibly be an interesting connection between Enfield and Conjuring, but also some interesting connections to the jail. You just don't know. We're going to see what we can come up with everybody. So it's kind of an exciting night here. There's all sorts of things going on in the Get Haunted universe. And yeah, it's going to be awesome. They can't necessarily go live at Conjuring, unfortunately. There are some strict rules while you are investigating there. So Conjuring is probably not quite the location you're going to see lives from, unless Rob, I think you can do it from the outside. You cannot do it from the inside.
I'll confirm it once we get there. It's tricky, right? It depends on a bunch of different factors, and I don't know which factors we qualify for. So we'll figure it out.
Yeah. So, but do look for some maybe from the jail, because Bree will be doing some lives. Kaylee is saying, I agree, Rob. If you go in the house with negative energy, the house will give it right back full force.
That's right.
What's an amplifier, right? And then there's also the interpretation. My interpretation of what happened with me was in the beginning was terrible. I hated the place and I never wanted to go back. And once I got an objective perspective on this and started looking at it through a different lens, it's like anything else. Like you're just like, oh shit. Now I get it. In my mind, I probably, only had one possible explanation. So
I believe this is Stephanie still. She's saying they allow you 2 hours to go live, and that's collectively with all guests to share that time. So we will, if they do, just to also answer Dee Dee's question, if any lives are going to happen, you're going to see them on the Get Haunted pages, either the official page and or the network pages. We will set you up. Rob will give me word. I will try to post out there. Everybody's having a good time in the Get Haunted universe, and I'm just going to be here home. So I will wait to hear word. I am a loser tonight. Danny, don't laugh at that, Danny. Do not encourage him.
I'm trying not to.
But I will wait for word from Danny or Rob, and I will make sure you guys all know where you can find each and every one of our Get Haunted crew tonight. Right, Dee Dee? Thank you. Dee Dee and I, the blondes, are keeping it low key tonight. That's what the L stands for, low key. We're changing that shit right now. Low key, that loser. So, Rob.
I didn't say a loser, and I actually didn't say anything. We just pulled over because I'm actually having luck, but
you're having what?
I'll let you know. Luck, not hearing you turn into a robot.
We love you, Sam.
So we love you, Sam. The sound was probably this really big dude on a really small motorcycle going by.
I heard that too. I was like, what was that? No, I'm excited for you guys. Guys, just so you know, let's send lots of love and all sorts of good energy Danny's way. This is her first time at the Conjuring. This isn't just about you, Rob. It's like not just Rob. This is Danny's first experience at the Conjuring House. I told her, I asked her, like, is she excited?
Turn it back.
Oh, she doesn't want to be on. She doesn't want to be on camera. Danny, are you excited about your first time?
I am. Oh my goodness. All right.
I am. Are you guys? What's going on there?
No, because he was keeping it on me for like this awkwardly long time, and I'm like, okay, we don't need it on me, and then whatever. But no, I am excited for it. I'm trying to walk into this very open-minded, and I'm not trying to have any preconceived notions of anything as much as I can, and we'll just see what happens. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I am super excited, and because I'm keeping it low key tonight, I'm trying to insert myself in a couple experiments, off-site experiments. So we'll keep you posted. I think I'm gonna do maybe a little recording as well when we do these little combined experiments together, me being off-site. I'm curious, Rob, since I had that experience at the Shanley, while somebody from the Shanley was at the Conjuring House having their experience, like there was some cool connections there. So I kind of want to see if I can tap into that a little bit.
Yeah, and some of the people that are going to be at the house tonight were at the Shanley the night before we were all there. It's just all kinds of weird little, I get it. It's a small community. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. And then maybe I'll do a little remote intrusion to the other two locations to see if I can tap into what's going on there.
Oh, someone's bored.
No, it sounds like a great plan.
That's not bored. That's getting in touch with my inner self here and seeing if I can connect. But I am excited for you guys. It's going to be such a great night. 3 really amazing investigations right here with the Get Haunted crew. Rob being a big part of one of them, and then just the crew all coming in super excited, great energy to make your night, if you're going to one of these locations, to make your night about you. Share with us. We want to hear. I want to put this out here. If you don't hear this in your intros, because it gets kind of lost in this. This is what I'm going to say. If you're going to an event tonight or any night with the Get Haunted crew, we want to hear your experience. We want you to share that, and we want to lift that experience in the community. So please send that right on to us. I believe we have evidence at gethaunted.com. I believe that is set up just for you to be able to send it, or pull a crew member aside and say, hey, I got to tell you this. I want to share this with you. We're working on an idea here right now that's going to make this process a little easier for each and every one of you to share. But we want to hear what you're doing, how you're doing it, what you're experiencing. If you're not, why do you think you are? Go a little deeper with your thought process. Don't just walk out of there going, well, I got nothing. That sucked. Don't go out with that attitude. Why don't you go out with, what was going on with me? Am I fully vested in this moment?
Oh,
am I digging into what I could be digging in? So if you're going in there and within a few hours, you're not really feeling like you're connected, if you're going to the Conjuring, I'm going to tell you, you got Danny right there. Connect with Danny. Let her sit with you with a little bit of Reiki. Connect and get deep.
Oh, yes,
ask yourself some questions. What else can you do? What else can you do to get yourself ready for the spirits to talk to you? Alex, greetings to you from East Tennessee. I think this might be Stephanie. What spiritual protections are you going to recommend when you're going to the Conjuring? Do you have any, Rob? I feel like you never talk about those.
I don't, because I feel like it's a very personal thing, and that what works for me might not work for Sarah, might not work for Dehu, might not work for Danny, because you truly have to believe in what you set your intent to be. So it's a tough one. We do get asked that a lot. So, everybody likes to throw out, oh, say St. Michael's prayer, right? But what if you're Jewish? What if you're Muslim? Is this going to work for you?
No. My personal opinion.
What the hell is that? Or Buddhist,
was
whatever.
Buddhist. It's
yeah,
mindset,
I don't know what you're
Rob.
doing there.
I know, I was giving it the. No, you really just answered that question. I feel like what you're saying, and I feel like what you and I talk about most importantly, when you walk into these locations, the best protection you can have, clear mind. Go in with a really solid mindset. If you are feeling shit, if you are feeling stressed, irritated, annoyed, angry, depressed, sad, I promise you, that's a tough one. You've got to go in there with a strong mindset. That's just my belief. I feel like, Rob, the more we do things, there's in the ritual stuff. If you think about it, the ritual stuff is truly to get that mindset there. That ritual is to help lift your mindset. So if the prayer to St. Michael helps you, awesome. If listening to Om helps you, awesome. Right? Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What makes
That's
you feel
how I
good?
see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think some people think it's irresponsible of me to not offer some blanket form of spiritual protection, but I feel like it's completely irresponsible of me to offer something that may not work for somebody. So it is something that I believe is a very personal choice. So
I think the irresponsibility, Rob, would come from if you didn't encourage them to find what their peace of mind is. And that's all you're saying. You're not giving one over another. You're simply encouraging them to find their peace of mind. That's the responsible way to go. We have no proof on any of these things other than how you receive it. Adam saying his partner is a doctor and didn't believe in the spirits until he met me. And then he says he still hates them. But Dehu saying salt in my shoes,
well, that's what I'm saying. And that's awesome, because if that works for her, great. What if here's my blanket, smear yourself in dog feces.
There you go.
I'll keep everything away.
And everything will leave you alone. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
That's
whatever you want. We encourage. This is what Get Haunted promises you, right? This is what we promise you. We encourage you to be you and to experience things the way you do and to explore what makes you comfortable. We will always encourage that. We are not going to encourage you to fit one box, one Christian belief, one Muslim belief, one Jewish belief, one Buddhist belief, one spiritualism belief. We encourage you to find what sets you in your comfort. It's all we can do. That would fall under the expert. Hey, what are you eating? What are you eating?
Piece of gum.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm that lady. But yeah, so that's that shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
listen, Adam, you're what? I'm gonna eat a
you
chip.
ate while we were driving. I know. So
now I'm gonna eat chips. He
Adam,
hates
what?
this, just so you guys know. He hates when you chew, and he can hear it.
Why you got to talk about me publicly now? Oh, what are you joining the rest of the paranormal field?
Yeah, I am. I want to see what it feels like.
Okay, cool. Have fun.
No, guys,
spill it.
This is so awesome, though. Honestly, like, I think this is gonna be a great night. You guys are gonna have some very interesting activity. Danny, I think there's going to be a discovery, and it's gonna be a validation for you. There's going to be a big that's so vague. I'm not a psychic. I am not claiming to be a psychic. I'm just telling you.
So.
Danny is about to feel a validation on a level that I can't wait for you to share with me.
I hope
and you
it's
have
that
to.
she.
What? Sarah.
I hope it's that she can drive at 4 a.m.
Well, I can absolutely drive at 4 a.m. If you would actually let me do it, I can do it.
Oh,
but no, full report.
I will let her drive.
Full report when we're done.
Oatmeal is fine because that's quiet.
Yeah. You don't like chips? Oh, you know what he really hates?
Stop.
He hates that. No, I do, Danny. I think there's about to be a validation for you. But girl, that's your power, and you have to share it with me. If you share it with no one else,
absolutely,
you have to share it with me. Because you're about to
share that with you.
You're about to discover a superpower, and I cannot wait to hear it. It's gonna be so freaking cool. Rob, you're gonna be all right. Yeah, you're gonna be all right.
I'm all right.
Yeah,
I'm all right. Yeah. I'm gonna sleep in the car while Danny gets validated.
That sounds okay.
Oh, yeah, shit. I love that. I love that. It's gonna be a great night. So, everybody, keep it right here. Look on the Get Haunted pages, D-Hoot. I will throw you an email as soon as I get word from the boss that they're going to go live at some point. I probably won't be a part of that. They're probably going to do their own thing. But I am going to do my own experiments with them. I can't wait to do that. Danny, if you want to do one as well with me, just let me know.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to have some fun.
So only me. It's all about me.
Steve is saying have a great investigation. He said if he wasn't working weekends, he'd be up there to see you. But Steve, we were thinking
be like me. Come to the house. You won't ever have to work another.
Wow.
Well, that's true. You would only work weekends.
Well, Rob, any parting words for the Get Haunted universe?
No.
No.
No. We're sorry. We're doing another print, and we're sorry. I'm joking. We're not doing that. No, just get out there, keep exploring. Kevin, love you, brother. No, get out there, keep exploring. Don't get stuck in ruts. Broaden your horizons. Look at things differently. Try to understand things. One day it'll all click. That's all. I don't even know.
Be the encouragement. Be encouragement that you wish to see. Open your minds. Be like Rob. Be like Danny. Go in there. Take it all in. And I think there's answers. There are answers waiting to be told.
They're out there.
Yeah, they're out there. Sam saying, "Hey, Dan."
That's Sam. Hey, Sam. Hi.
Yeah. So
all right.
I'm excited. I'm a little. Be like Rob. Be like Rob.
Aw.
Yeah, please don't.
Be like Danny. Oh, okay. So you guys all have your own hashtags. Guess what, Sam? Hashtag true story. Everybody always add hashtag true story to any comment on Facebook. Rob loves it.
Yeah, it's fucking brilliant.
Dee Dee, have a great
probably
night.
one of the
Gotta
most.
go. Oh shit! Be like Rob.
We do too.
Trending.
Oh yeah, I like it,
guys.
I do
hashtag
actually
be
like that
Rob.
hashtag. Can we start that?
It's trending. It's trending. Here we go. Be like Rob.
Yes.
We're gonna have T-shirts made.
Yep.
There's our team
It's
shirt.
happening.
It's happening. Hashtag.
Right.
Can we make the bracelets? What would Rob do?
What would Rob do? WWRD. Okay, we're gonna gun it here. We're gonna get back.
Shit.
Hang on.
Oh my god.
Let's get the ugly.
I felt that. Like I felt that. I actually felt my body with the acceleration have to go back. It was like, what the hell? Yep, already trending.
That's what happens.
What would Rob do? WWRD is already trending.
Love it.
What's happening, folks? What's happening? Do not encourage this man. All right, guys. Well, I love you guys dearly. Please be safe. Please take care of our guests. Please take care of our crew. To the crew out there working tonight at one of these 3 fabulous locations, you are loved, you are seen, you are appreciated, like always, because you are the best crew in the business right there. Get Haunted crew. They rock some serious ass. All right.
Sarah,
I
freaking love you.
I love you, Danny, more than you know. What? All right, guys. Listen, there's lots of love going your way. Right. Go be a rock star. If you guys haven't seen on the public Get Haunted page, there is a picture of Rob being the rock star he is. We love that. Thank you, Jason Zizzini, for that amazing addition to the page. It is greatly appreciated.
It's the best photo ever.
It's not black and white leggings. It is not black and white fringe leggings, but it is a start, and we love it so much.
I have never
fringe leggings.
Stop calling it leggings.
They are leggings.
Well, they're not leggings.
They're leggings. They're leggings.
They're not.
They are what they are. They are. It's okay.
They're hot pants. What the heck?
I hate everybody. They're not leggings.
Do not. You love everybody. Guys, on the side, we love that you are a part of our journey of the Get Haunted family. We see you. We love you. We appreciate you more than you know. This is great. Danny's all excited. She's all hot over there.
Yeah, she's sweating all the time.
Rob is, what does this say? Rob is Steel Panther.
Ooh.
What is that? What is that? What is
like
Steve?
Not Steel.
Steven.
Steel Panther.
What is that?
Give us a hint. Was there an animal in it? There's an animal in it, right?
What?
Is there an animal in there?
No, there's not
no
an animal. No animals.
Shit. So Steve just didn't let the cat out of the bag, the panther out of the bag?
No. The panther is bagged still. There's no panther. I'm sorry.
Steve, I think we need to talk. P3S might be my new favoriteest team ever. Those guys are right in here. They're right in here. No, seriously, you guys, please have a safe rest of your journey. How much time do you have before you are there?
Oh, what the hell does that say? 86 miles, hour and 41 minutes.
All right. Well, you guys have a safe travel, safe investigation. We are all thinking of you. We can't wait to hear. Let's do some great experiments tonight, guys. And like always, get haunted, stay haunted. Get haunted.
For life.
Get haunted is fucking up the paranormal world, people. We love it.
Now, this is where emphasis matters. There's a couple things that Sarah needs to learn. 1 is punctuation, 2 is spelling, and 3 is how to say certain words. Because there's a big difference between get haunted, it's fucking up the entire paranormal world, or get haunted, it's out there fucking shit up. Like, that's different.
Oh, the nuances there.
Yeah.
Did you guys know on the side? Do you guys know what I was saying on the side, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, all we need is somebody to isolate that. Next thing is there's the next fucking. Oh, here's a recording from a secret meeting with the Taliban about get haunted.
Brittany says my favorite part of that is that for the most part, it's we are fucking it up. We are getting out there and we are just flipping paranormal on its side. We're just like, We're gonna do this different, people. You watch. We are all
we
dorks,
gotta.
Brittany.
Paranormal rebels.
Well, just remember, what would
is
Rob do?
that?
What the fuck is? Okay. Oh God, that scared me. It was just this black mass moving underneath a bridge, but it was a bird. A bird flying very close to the top.
Holy crap!
Yeah.
See, this is why you need to come out with us. It's fun.
Yeah. Well, I thought I caused enough problems.
Final
last
destination
weekend,
shit. Can we not be behind this guy? Thank you.
Shh, we're on a live.
Sorry.
Amateur.
All right, guys, look at that. Okay, you guys have a great time. Please keep in contact. We'll do check-ins. Guys on the side, I'll do check-ins with you as well, because remember, low key tonight. Low key for me.
Low key.
Low key. All right.
All right, low key.
Say goodbye to all our fabulous side people, please.
Later, side pieces.
Oh God, you guys! Now the rumors are really gonna go.
Yeah. So look, Taylor Swiftie has. What are they called? Taylor Swiftie. Taylor Swift has Swifties.
Wait, that's what they're called?
Yeah.
They're called
I
Swifties?
don't know.
It is because my daughter was one. I know.
Aww.
I might have been one for a minute.
You were totally one for a minute.
Ew.
And Get Haunted's audience members are side pieces.
Yeah, haunties.
I love that.
Your little haunties.
Give me a shirt. I am Get Haunted side piece. There you go.
Oh, there you go.
There we
you have
go.
your very own side piece shirts, people.
Yeah.
They'll be
Nobody's
for sale
gonna know.
tomorrow.
Nobody's gonna freaking know where we're coming. We're asleep with everybody. Just everybody's our side piece.
Everybody.
Oh,
Everybody. We don't discriminate. So
even you, Kev. Get ready. I'm
That's
coming
right.
for you, bro.
Yeah, Sam's saying you went from a Katy cat to a Swiftie. I know. He kind of worries me. I didn't know this about him. This never came up. Kevin's like, hell yeah. Kevin's ready. All right, guys, seriously. I gotta let you go, or else we could just do like again 24/7. We could just go live. I could sit here and bug them for the rest of their drive. So I'm not gonna. We're gonna let them go.
All right, let us go.
What is this
dude
doing?
I know. Being a Connecticut.
What is up with Connecticut and driving? Like, I don't get it.
All right, bye, Quackity.
Bye, Quack. Stop.
No.
Send me nitro.
Oh my God.
All right, we can talk to you all day too, Sam. All right, guys, have a good drive. We'll talk to you later. Bye.